Welcome back to the Green Machine, the Nature Aquarium Specialists. This video documents James Findley planting a TGM substrate ball to make a Wabi-Kusa display. James developed TGM substrate balls to allow Wabi-Kusas to be created easily and successfully. Wabi-Kusas are an exciting and inventive development in the nature aquarium world. They are fantastic for beginners and also provide experienced aquascapers with a new challenge. Once you have your substrate ball, and whilst it is still dry, the first step is to cover the ball in moss. Riccia can also be used. James chose weeping moss for the base of this substrate ball, but most mosses are suitable. At this stage, the substrate ball is solid. To attach the moss to the substrate ball, use Riccia line. Loop it around the ball once and then tie the Riccia line tightly. A pair of pincets is used to ensure that the Riccia line is tied very tightly so that it does not come loose. Make sure you leave a small length of the line that will be long enough to tie to the other end once the winding is complete. Tie it around the substrate ball at least 25 to 40 times in each direction to ensure that the moss is firmly attached. James also added some Riccia to the substrate ball for some extra texture and colour. It is possible to create a Wabi-Kusa style ball without a layer of moss, but James likes to add it for aesthetic reasons. When looking at a forest or jungle, the forest floor is carpeted in plant life and can be seen from above through the patches of foliage. If the base of the substrate ball is left bare, then it creates a patchy, unnatural and less beautiful effect. Adding moss creates a more aged, realistic and chaotic impression. Once the winding is completed and secured, the second step is to rehydrate the substrate ball. This must be done immediately so that the moss does not dry out and die. To do this, simply place the substrate ball in a waterproof clear plastic bag and add some water to it. Then place the bag in sunlight and leave it there for 2 to 3 days, or until the ball is rehydrated and pliable enough to work with. The third stage is planting. Hemianthus cuba is added to the substrate ball. This is done by simply pressing the hemianthus firmly into place. Then some polygonum is added. Using a pair of pincets, place a hole in the substrate ball, which will now be pliable, then gently push the stem of the polygonum into place. The leaves are trimmed so that they will lose less water. When plants are first placed in the substrate ball, their root systems are not developed. Trimming the leaves of the polygonum reduces water loss and improves the health and growth of the plant at its early stage. It will take around 2 to 3 weeks for the plant to develop a good root system. Marsilea hirsuta is added. This plant is fairly tall, so it adds height to the display and has a lovely 4-leaf clover-like appearance, which is very delicate and interesting. For larger plants, a slightly bigger hole is made in the substrate ball, so the larger root ball can be pushed in. Ludwigia SP Diamond Red is added to provide a nice variation in colour. When working with the plants in this way, it is important to mist them regularly, as the plants do not have proper root systems yet. Stem cuttings are particularly susceptible to water loss and should be treated with extra care. Storagine repens is added. This is a very stunning plant when it is cut back, to create an interesting carpeting effect, so it is particularly useful for the front of the display. Hydrocotyle tripartita is added. This plant cascades as it grows, creating a very wild impression. It is a fast-growing, prolific plant. The fourth step is to carefully lift the planted substrate ball into position in the plant glass, placing the best side forward. James has already added a layer of sand to the plant glass. Any sand or gravel suitable for planted tanks can be used for this. Finally, the water is added, and the plant substrate ball is fertilised with a good foliar fertiliser. 1 capful is added to 500 millilitres of water and then poured onto the gravel so as not to disturb the plants. The plants are then sprayed with water again and then covered in plastic. A waterproof plastic bag can also be used, so that the plants are in almost 100% humidity. It is very important that the display is covered in plastic for around 2 to 3 weeks in order to acclimatise the plants to immersed growth. The plastic keeps the moisture inside The humidity should be gradually reduced over the following 2 to 3 weeks by gradually placing holes in the plastic until the plants are at room temperature and normal humidity. Then the plastic can be removed. This must be done to acclimatise the plants gradually to immersed growth, as they have not yet developed root systems and cannot take up moisture properly through the roots until they are established. If they are not kept moist, they will lose water from their leaves and die quite quickly. Once the plants are acclimatised, it is no longer an issue, but plants should be misted at least once a day, preferably 2 to 3 times a day, and dosed regularly with a good foliar fertiliser. Now the planted substrate ball is complete. You can see the appeal of a Wabi-Kusa. They are elegant, artistic and easy to look after, and add a real sense of nature to any room. For more videos, articles and planted tank tips, please visit our website and sign up to our newsletter, YouTube channel and Facebook.